do you find science in the Bible is a very interesting question, because you have to start by trying to define what you mean by science. Do we find the scientific method as it's presently understood in the Bible of hypothesis and test and conclusion? No, not really. Do we find a sense of wonder and awe in creation that is at the heart of every scientist's desire to understand and know? Absolutely. Some of the most beautiful nature poetry that has ever been written is found in the Bible. Some of the most heartfelt pleas of awe about the universe. The psalmist says, the heavens declare that God exists, the handiwork of God.
When I say science, I'm generally talking about a very modern conception of science, probably from the late 19th century on. And there are many philosophical aspects to that it might be anachronistic to try to read into the Bible, which was written at a very different time. And so while I wouldn't say modern science may be found in the Bible, many of the things on which modern science is founded, the ideas of skepticism, the idea that the world is worth knowing, the idea that working together to know it with our senses, we may come to have a fuller understanding of our place in the world, and God's real desire for us to have that sort of relationship with creation. I think those things are very much in the Bible.
If we were to understand science as we see in the scientific journals and textbooks professionally written in 2015, then no, the Bible is not a scientific textbook. The last couple of days, the Pew Research Institute has released a report in which they asked Americans what they think about the relationship between science and religion, and surprisingly, or maybe not, a majority of them declared that there is an inherent incompatibility between science and religion.
Science as a method of understanding can't really answer the question of why. Why in a moral or purposeful sense. It can explain the why in a mechanical sense of how something happened, how it happened.
I think God created human beings to use all the gifts they're given, and that includes their brains. Science is a way of seeking knowledge about the world. The faith journey is also about seeking knowledge of the world, but they tend to pursue rather different foci. Science looks for how things have come to be the way they are. Religion asks questions of meaning and questions about relationship with creation.
I think there are versions of science and Christianity that can come into conflict with one another. In particular, there are things we wish to believe without question. And many of the challenges in science and religion come from people who associate with science or associate with Christianity who want things to be unquestionable, running into people in other fields who wish to question and look at the details of those things. From the Anglican perspective, I think the Bible and the tradition call us to a deep humility about what we know that says we must question these things while holding on to our certainty of the hope and love and curiosity that God seeks for us. So I would hope that the best of science and the best of Christianity are completely compatible.
What we do understand about creation in science is that there is this inherent sense that there is meaning and design in it. Whether that implies a designer or not is a question a scientist asks in their religious life. But I am convinced that all scientists at their heart are mystics, perceiving this deep interconnection in the universe, and like Sherlock Holmes crying out, "The game's afoot," and chasing it. It's the best part of doing science, is that moment when you begin to see a connection or you see how something works that you never imagined could be understood before.